number one team in the country, I would have LSU number one, followed by Ohio State. Number three, I would probably have Alabama, followed by Penn State, and then Clemson rounding out the top five. And the reasons for that is I feel like out of the group of those five, I think LSU, as of right now, has played the little bit of a tougher schedule overall. Yeah. Now, again, there's still more games to be played, but as of right now,
yeah.
I think with that being said, excuse me, LSU still has some defensive questions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they gave up 38 points twice, one time to Vanderbilt.
I know.
Vanderbilt has never scored 38 points in one game. No, I'm just kidding.
Then when Cutler was,
but I'm just saying, though, you can't do that and then expect you have your offense, no doubt about it. Maybe the most high-octane offense in the nation. I mean, Joe Burrow, Heisman Trophy, probably the lead candidate right now, I would say. You have some other people nipping on his heels, but he's a stud. I got Ohio State 2, like I said, Alabama 3, Penn State 4, Clemson 5. Now, with that being said, I think Ohio State, they played two ranked teams as well, so has LSU. So
do you think
current ranked teams?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at on paper and you look at how they play, whatever, do you think there's a team out there that Ohio State can't beat?
Well, I was just going to say, with that being said, while I have LSU ranked number one, it's a ranking. I think the best team in the nation is still Ohio State.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, they have not quite earned that number one spot, in my opinion. Not that they're not the best team, but there's a difference between who has earned the number one spot versus who's the best team.
You nailed it. Like
right, that's all it is.
I don't think Ohio State has earned number one, but I do think Ohio State, I think, is the best team.
Now, I think if and when, again, we got Alabama and Auburn at the end of the season. You can have Alabama versus LSU, which I think is going to be a heck of a contest. That's coming up here in a couple weeks. And you have Ohio State and Penn State. Now that's going to be, I think, I think the winners of those two, of the Alabama LSU and then Ohio State Penn State, those are going to be, whoever wins those two games are going to have. Again, it's going to depend on how good you win, how much you win by style points. Yeah. That's what will come into who's going to be number one.
That is going to be, of all the games this year, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most right now. I remember looking at the schedule, like, God damn, like, can we play some harder, Mm-hmm. But Penn State's just gotten better and better. That is going to be a classic Big Ten winner. Winner's going to take a lot, and it's going to to be a brawl.
I'll be curious to see how the weather plays out too.
Yeah, dude, this time of year, man, dude.
Well, it's going to be. I mean, it is what it is. It's in the Midwest. It could be rain, it could be snow, it could be cold, it could be 60 degrees that day because it's the Midwest. It's just, I doubt it, but that's how it goes around here. So,
guys, what are your thoughts about Ryan Day? One of the things I've picked up on it,
he looks like a adult, grown-up version of Eddie Munster.
He kind of does, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Eddie Munster. We can make a sign.
Well, the first day I saw him, I'm like, man, I know this guy.
You know what's interesting about his teams is that you saw this with. I mean, you saw it with Tressel's teams. You saw it with Urban Meyer's teams. We saw it with John Cooper's teams. But even though you only have like a sample size of the games that he kind of, and let's be honest, he probably coached half a whole last season with Meyer the way that he was.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but this season, you can only go so much. I'm not going to make any grand statements, but there's something about this team where you don't get a sense there's going to be like that Iowa State letdown or that unranked.
Purdue.
You don't get this sense.
Well, but I can tell you, as a Buckeye fan, that's definitely still in the back of your head.
Yeah,
you're
waiting for it, right?
You're like, the last 2 years, you had phenomenal teams, and then you go out and you don't just lose, you get blown out.
Yeah,
you get embarrassed.
You haven't seen that at all. Like, they come prepared, they're disciplined, they don't shoot themselves in the foot. They have great game plans. They don't play down to anyone. They don't look past anybody. There's something about that, Now, given, you didn't see that from Urban Meyer's teams in the beginning. So is it one of those, like, you win some championships and then you maybe get a little arrogant and a little complacent?
I think my prediction, as of right now, unless something changes, injuries, which they do, I think you're going to see an LSU Ohio State national championship game.
Ooh.
Depending on how the brackets end up being.
Yeah.
The way it goes now, I don't think Alabama's good. I think LSU can take them.
Yeah.
I think Ohio State. I think they can take Penn State, and I think that Ohio State can beat LSU. You know, LSU got the high octane offense, but the
That's
defense
the
is
only
suspect.
thing I have seen, like when you look at speed along the edges, that's where I've seen Ohio State get exposed a little bit on defense. I don't know if it's more of a outside linebacker, your edge defenders,
They're
but
running more zone too.
yeah, you
They
see,
really kind of.
you get some guys that are fast. I mean, they're eating some chunks of yards. I mean, they tighten it down, but that would be the only thing that would really worry me of them, our linebackers being exposed. I mean, I'm cool with the secondary. Our line is getting pressure, but that's something that I would worry about. But I mean, dude, you're going up against Alabama, LSU. I mean, if you go, you're going to have to deal with some. I mean,
Yeah, Clemson. I mean, Clemson's good. I feel like they're missing something that they had last year. They just don't. I mean, they struggled against North Carolina. They're not. I don't think Clemson's being respected right now, which that could motivate them. I just don't think a lot of people, for being the defending undefeated national champions, especially this late in the season,
and that many returning players too. That's what's
I
weird.
feel
Yeah.
like they're not getting the respect, and if hopefully they can harness that for their sake.
But I mean, how many
motivate them?
How many championships has Dabo Sweeney won?
I believe 2.
Yeah, so you gotta look at it. Okay, is this like him trying to figure out, you know?
Well, they blew out Alabama last year. I mean, blew them out.
Yeah, well, you
Smoked
see
them.
this with a lot of teams. Like, I mean, because I know like a lot of the reports come out of the Eagles locker room. Not to switch back to the Eagles, but a lot of the veterans are kind of going. It's like, all right, you won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. It's all right. It's done. Like, stop. Like, let go of that. And it is kind of like, when you look at just teams, how much of a difference is there when you finally win that championship?